Hey guys, Chris Fayte with Cheat the Game coming back at you. Today we're going to be going back to Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I did promise you we would go get infinite health. In this particular game, it's a little bit tricky with health. It is not constantly being read. It's only being read when you actually take damage. So it's very hard to locate a good spot for it, first of all. And second of all, it's very hard to compare out for. You'll notice that a lot of these offsets in just about every single registry, they are changing all the time. The values do not stay the same. You will not find just a complete group difference in any registry that I've seen so far. I could be wrong, but like I say, after checking a few registries and going through the offsets and everything, and then taking the game back down, bringing it back up again, and all those things changed. It was really a futile attempt. So you can do it either two ways. Now I'm going to be doing it in this lesson because last lesson on this we did breath, and I showed you how to use the pointer cap to write to your value. I'm also going to be doing a lesson later, not in this lesson, but probably the next after, where we're going to go back to breath, and instead of having a multi-level pointer write to breath, we're actually going to use an injection copy to write to breath. And this will be an injection copy that'll be in another part of memory, and actually not even using the breath cap to find the location. We're just going to find the location of a value that's near that breath cap, and then find where it's constantly writing to that particular value, and then we're just going to increase the offset to what our breath cap is and have that write to our breath. So that'll be a really good lesson. You don't want to miss that one. But for this one, this is to fulfill the promise. Now I did start recording it, but you know, I had so much trouble with it, I just decided to scrap that one and just start fresh. And basically what I'm going to do is we're just going to do it comparing our health. We're going to do it like we did at one time or another. Basically what we did is we compare our health value to other health. You'll see that some other values that are being shared with health are above ours and below ours. So we're just going to give ourselves a small little range where it only filters us out. Okay, so I brought the game up to where we do have contact with some enemies, and trying to actually find health with enemies attacking you all at once is pretty difficult, especially when the address isn't being written to all the time except for when you actually take damage. So it's really hard to find it that way. So what I recommend do is kind of clearing the enemies out of the area, then use means like hurting yourself to find where the opcodes are that you need, and that's what we're going to do here. So let's go ahead and load the associated table, and right off the bat I'm going to put this on readable and writable. We're going to float, and remember I've already found health and I told you how to find it. You can locate it on a float 300. So that's what we're going to do. We know that our health is at 300, so we're going to do a first scan for 300. And we need to get to a spot where we can take some damage, and that's what we're going to do. And I'm just going to be using hotkeys while I'm doing this, so all I'm doing now is just going unchanged value while we're getting to a spot where we can actually take some damage. Alright, so we did take some damage there, but I don't know if it went all the way back yet or not, so I can't really do nothing with that. But what I want is these bottles right here. So let's grab one, and by mashing the middle mouse button, if we have the materials, we can make these little muzzles, these Molotovs right here. So we want to use our own creative fire, take some damage, pause it, and just go from there. So we know we took some damage there. And we just do our normal routine of weeding them down, and we find a few we can try. Thing is, it's very hard to try since it's not constantly being read or written to. So we're just going to wait for the screen to completely heal. I'm not assuming that it's going up. I just got to wait on some type of graphical indicator, which you see the blood on the screen is the graphical indicator. And the screen going from black and white to color again is also an indicator. So we do have indicators. So we're going to say increase value. And we're going to say it's back at 300, so unchanged. And we're already down to 25, so that's good. That can get us to where we need to be right there. And there it is right there. It's only one. And when you're trying to find it with changed and unchanged without going direct value, sometimes you'll get the display value with it, or a graphical value. But this is definitely it right here. However, you won't know it's it because let me show you. When I change the health, I change it to 50. Look, you do not notice any type of indicator. However, our health is 50. You see, because there's nothing constantly writing to it to set it back to recognize that it's that damage has been taken. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it was extremely hard to find. But that is it. And the only way that I knew that was it is I had to test it. And I threw another bottle down and went, and I died instantly because I didn't have enough health to maintain just going down maybe 100 or how much ever it took off. So, and then we saw that was the only 300, so that led me to know that it was it. So what I want to do is go ahead and find those places in memory. Just any places. I want you to take a look. See? Look at the debugger. Nothing is reading it. Nothing's writing to it. Nothing's monitoring it right now. Nothing. And that is our internal health. So we have to take damage for it to come up. So what we need to do is I want to take damage with another cocktails right here, some more fire. And now we do have some places in memory that we have, and we can save, we can add to code list, say that that's the writing opcode when we take damage. Writing health. We'll just add that, and that'll be over here in our advanced options for later. And when you save your cheat table, it will save that information for you. Alright. And look how many it knocks off there, 98. But now it's noticed and it recognizes that we have taken damage. So now something's constantly with it to heal us. Take a look, see? And once it goes back, everything stops monitoring it. So I haven't been able to find the flag or anything of that nature to tell it that we've taken damage. But I hadn't really looked for it, to be honest with you. But we also want to keep this running because we also want to take other types of damage. Because we know fire is one type of damage. We know that being shot is another type of damage. A melee attack is another type of damage. Sometimes in these bigger type games, there could be several places in memory that's writing to your health, or it could all be just that one spot. We don't know. Also, something about chars, if you notice, and take a look. What we see when we see Lara Croft, we see one char right there. We see one avatar. Okay? She got a head, she got a torso, 2 arms, 2 legs. Now, in 32-bit games, roughly, usually that's all you have is just one mesh, and usually just hitting anywhere on that mesh will just take a certain random amount of damage. However, in these more precise type games, usually you'll have 4 different areas, sometimes 5 different areas of the body taking different types of damage. So really, we have like 4 or 5 different pairs of meshes all assembled together into one. We have a head, the torso, the arms, the legs. And you notice this in FPS type games. When you get shot in the arm, doesn't necessarily take off as much damage as it does if somebody's shooting you in the chest. And usually when you get shot in the head, that's a one-hit kill. That's an instant kill right there. Or, you know, getting shot in the leg or the foot, that's also doesn't take as much damage off as maybe other parts of the body. That's trying to make it as realistic as possible, but that's what's going on, is each one of those areas of the mesh is being written and calculated in a different spot in memory. So this is what we're testing out to see if there are other places that may be in control of different levels of health being taken off. So we want to put ourselves in different situations where it affects our health. Okay, we took damage, so I don't see anything else coming off, and we took a gunshot. So what I want to do is make sure that that is possibly writing to our health. We can take a look at more information to that XMM6 registry. We match F for the FPU registries, and we see here XMM6 is writing. We see XMM1 is also carrying that value down, doing its calculations, and we can see this is definitely probably our cap, this XMMO. So that's good information right here. We've taken damage, that's remained the same. More than likely that's our cap. So that's good. So basically what I want to do is I want to put myself back up to 300. I don't know how it will affect the game really if it doesn't notice it, but what I want to do is to get healed, go back up in health, get the graphic indicator off the screen. Let's get rid of this guy here. Alright, he's done. Alright, so now we can test it and make sure that this is the writing opcode. And what I'm going to do is just put some knops on it just so it's not writing at all. And then I'm just going to go in there kamikaze style and take some damage. And take a look. And we got hit with a cutscene. Alright, so I'm just going to let them well on me a bit. We see we do still have like graphic indicator, but we are not dying. Now we need to see if we can create damage. So if you take a look, they're not dying either. And I'm shooting them. But yet we can still take them out that way. So we know that that instant death is a different part. So we could possibly also instantly die as well. So everything like that needs to be taken in consideration. I'm sorry if I'm shouting, it's just really loud right now. The game's really loud. So, you know, we got some good information just doing that alone. So let's go back over here, see if we can hide, get out of the way. And now what we want to do is we want to go through and see if we can compare out. Let me go ahead and save what I got and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so now we want to be careful. We know we can die. But even with that thing mashed, we can possibly die if we take the wrong type of damage, like a hit to the head or somebody gets some type of melee one-hit kill attack like we just did. And we know that that's still a possibility, so we do need to be careful. But this right here will provide you infinite health, except for things like big falls or maybe that one-hit kill type death that we saw earlier. So For right now, we just want to get everybody's address. Okay, there we are. So we got us. So I want to get a few more. Alright, so we got a few more, and we got some addresses we can use. We know we're the middle. Now, I have gone through this before with find commonalities, and like I say, everything's changing, but what you would normally do is the best place to start is mark your address is 1. Just go to find commonalities, mark selection as group 1, and then if you don't mark certain addresses, and just go to scan the commonalities, it's going to automatically put everything else in group 2. So that's what I normally do it first. And usually if there's something the same in these registries, it'll tell you, it'll say such and such, it's the exact same. And what we do is we go through, and you can start with the registry itself, the base registry itself, double click on it, only find matching groups, or you can leave it open. Like I said, you're not really going to find any that are going to stay the same each and every time you bring the game up, or it's a real hard search. So I've already went through every single registry and offsets. I've tried many of them over a period of days. I never found one that was stable. The only thing that seems to work for me, which I had originally, was just doing a multi-level pointer and keeping it at 300, just having it constantly write faster than the game does, 300, and that gave me an infinite health, and I was good with that. But I'm not doing that this time. I'm actually going to write a script for it, and I'm going to use the health value itself to give me infinite health, just like we did when you cannot find a compare at all. So that's what we're going to do. I'm not going through the stack because that didn't give me any good results. So let's just go ahead and start the script. Health 1. And it'll find a unique array of bytes. I recommend go ahead and taking that address out, because like I say, it's not really going to be utilized. It's using the array of bytes anyway, and we already telling it which module to search in, so the address is really not important. But I'll just go ahead and label it my symbol, because the game is still updating, and we're probably going to have to come adjust these array of bytes later for an update. So what I want to do is I want to get everybody in here in dissect data, and I know I'm the second address, so I'm going to go to open dissect data, because I can just read it easier. You can also do it the other way with find commonalities. It'll give you the same information. And let's go ahead and put our hero over in another group. Now if you see right off the bat, we got one right off the bat. I promise you that won't stay. I'm not going to bring the game back down and back up again and show you that that 30 is going to be something else next time. I've already went through all this. I've tried all that. It just does not work. Okay, so I'm not doing that. So what I want to do is this is already labeled it incorrectly, the incorrect value type. Alright, so what we have here is we have our health at 2C. It is a float value, so I had to go change it to float. So I can go ahead and label that health just for my own reference. And after searching and searching, no good stable offsets are providing any group differences, and no good areas with all F's are staying all S. It'll be something different next time. So what I did after that was I went the multi-level pointer route. That's worked fine for me, but then the game updates and the multi-level pointer doesn't work anymore, so you got to basically start all over again anyway. So what I decided to do now is go ahead and use the health. If you take a look, everybody's health different, and when you take more enemies in later, you're going to see that some have more health than you do, some have less health than you do as a starting health. So what I try to do was in 1 to 2 is just give myself a little leeway, 1 to 2 difference both ways, and use my health as its own compare. So that's what I'm going to do here. So we see that this is our health address, so we're going to compare that out. RAX plus 2C. Right off the bat, I want to give myself a little leeway, and I'm going to say 302. And what I'm going to say for this particular compare is anything that is greater than 302, I want to jump to code. Right underneath it, I'm going to compare. Also, we want to pay attention. We see that there are some compares and jumps, so we know already that the flags have already been set, so we're probably okay without having to push flags. If this opcode came in between a compare and a jump, then we would definitely want to push the flag states. You may want to do that anyway, just for safe measure. It doesn't really matter, but I'm not going to. I'm going to compare health again, and this time I'm going to give myself a little leeway, and I'm going to say integer 298. And this is its decimal form, it's not its hex form. If that's decimal 298, I want you to jump if less than or equal to code. And I can do that as well. Jump if greater than or equal to. So that means 302 and above, it's going to jump. 298 and below, it's going to jump. Or if I take out the equal to, it will allow the 302 to come down to our cheat. So I'm going to allow 302 and 298, and any value in between there will have infinite health. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that, and you saw earlier where XM 0, I'll show you again, when we took a look at what's writing to our health, and we see that XM 6 is carrying the new value into our health. But we saw that we had a cap value that's always staying the same. That's what our health started out as, is 300. So we can safely assume that that probably is our cap, and we can just have our cap right to our health. That XM 0 registry is actually carrying our cap value. So go ahead and assign that to the current cheat table. And we're really not going to get much information on just doing it this way at the moment. What we're going to do is reload the game back up and see if it works then. We're still able to kill our enemies. Here's the goal. We still want to be able to kill our enemies, and we want to be able to take all kinds of damage and not die. Okay? So that's what we're going to do, and I'm going to reload the game. I'm going to go ahead and turn the code on. So let's go ahead and exit to main menu. Okay, I did catch myself, so I had to go back here and change these to their float forms. But what I decided to do is just go 301, jump if greater, and then 299, jump if less. So that's what I decided to go. And what we're going to run into in just a second, that there are some enemies in here that do fall in that range where they're the same health as you are. So we got to separate them out too. So we're going to run into that also. So you're going to run into problems doing it this way as well. But sometimes that is a viable way. I personally still recommend going to find a multi-level pointer and go that route. But this is another viable way to do it. The way I got these, you can do it online, or you can use Cheat Engine itself. Just pick an address. As long as the game ain't running, this is being wrote to. You can use this to find float values in its hex form. Let me show you. So let's just change this particular one back to float. And this was my previous health address. This is no longer my health address. It's now something else. What I did in float is I put it at 301. And if you see all these zeros, it means it's still showing you the hex. So we need to go to decimal like that. Now do it 301. That's 301 float. Change it back to a 4 byte. Like that, and then right click again and go back and change it to hexadecimal, and this is the float form of 301, and that's what you can use to compare. You need to compare the float versions of those. Okay, so jump if greater if it's 301, and you can also do the same, and I put 299, and that's what this is right here, and we have the cat writing to that. But you will see there are some enemies that will not die, and we got to compare them out now. So let's go back to the beginning. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn the code on. And next what I want to do is go back to that place in memory. Let's take a look. Oh, I've lost the address. Daggone it. There it is. Alright, here is our address. Here is our symbol. So we're just going to go follow that to our allocated memory. Here is our script. And here is where it writes to our health, writing the cap. And here's where the enemies are jumping to write their health normally. We're supposed to. So we want to grab any strays out of here that we possibly can. Alright. So we're going to put that on float. We'll go back through and see if anything besides ourselves goes through there. Alright, so now we got another. We see this is us. We got one more that is the same as us. He dies, but as you see, he will not. So we need to find something that'll separate him out versus us, and hopefully that will help us out. So let's bring back dissect data structure, and we're going to get a lot of group differences. You really can't go by those. Like I say, you still want to stay roughly within your health region, but hopefully we can find something that's different enough where we'll always be the same and there'll be something different. And there's that 30 again, and that's 64 to 0. So I swear to you that did not work in the past, but who knows, maybe it worked. Maybe it's working now. This is an update, and I have not done it since that update, so maybe that's got something to do with it. But we're going to use that for right now, and then if we got to change it later, we'll just change it later. So we're going to go ahead and use that offset 30, because that's the second time, and I've already brought the game back up again a couple of times since then, just trying to find a good compare. And we're going to use that. And that may be the best thing to do. R8X plus 30, and we do know that it was a 4-byte, not a float. Let's just make sure. There we go, 4-byte. Yep, that's a 4-byte. So let's go ahead and compare that to, and I want to leave it a loose compare. I want to have a loose compare, and I'm going to say 50. Just in case, to leave me a lot of room. Jump if greater to code. I could even do it as 1, because if we're always 0 there, then we're golden. So if I say 01, jump if greater to code, and if we always stay 1, then anything that's above 1 is going to bypass the cheat. So let's turn it back on. Let's go back and check. And take a look. He dies. We stay alive. We do take a graphical effect. I want to check something. And we're standing in the fire, and we're still alive. So now we just keep going and test it. Let's go ahead and grab our machine gun. We ain't already got it. So let's us take damage for a while. We're right in the middle of fire. Well, let's just make sure we can kill everybody.
Copy that. Target sighted.
He died. We can still blow stuff up. He died. Looks like this is good for right now. We will have to play throughout more of the game to keep testing it, because it could change on us. So we don't know. But that's how you got to keep doing it. You just got to keep trying over and over again till you can bring the game up and down, up and down, up and down, and find something that continuously works. But that's basically what I wanted to show you. And like I said, we've already showed the multi-level pointer way. This is a way you can do it when you're just not able to find a compare. And you saw that we do have some enemies that were the same exact health level as us. That's why that's not a good idea to do that. But we saw that 30 keep popping up, and it fell the same way, 64. Everything was 64, we were 0. And we still did that as a loose compare. A loose compare means that it's not a specific number, it's jumping, it's a range of numbers, and anything that's above a 1, it will jump. And we know that we were always 0. So if anything else, as long as these enemies aren't 0, they're going to jump to have their health taken away. So that's what it means by being what I call a loose compare, okay? I want to thank you all so much for coming out and being a part of Cheat the Game. I really do hope these help you. I do like doing tough games like this, and sometimes, you know, even I get surprised in the middle of recording, and, you know, it's a constant problem solving event. I mean, you got to think up new ways. You got to start thinking outside the box. Well, how can I do this? How can I make it work right now? Or whatever it is I can do, and I'll try all kind of things. And like I say, I've been working on this for days, you know, trying to find something good to show you guys. And I think this is pretty good. And just to give you different ways you can compare things that work. And you saw that we were able to use our own health to compare out. And then we were able, once we weeded out a lot of the enemies that were the exact same as us, then we can go weed them out separately. So when we had to use a multi-compare, and I probably still have to compare out more later. I still have to go through more of the game and find out. I don't know. But and if we go up in health, you know, our health raises, then yeah, we're going to be stuck again. So we need to figure out a way around that. But hopefully we can do that. And I may just go back to the multi-level pointer. I don't know. But anyway, that should help get you started, get you a good base route in there, and go in there and look for some more group differences. You may find some that I didn't find, and there may be group differences in there now due to the updates that wasn't in there on the previous initial release. I don't know. So good luck to you. But hopefully that helps get you started. I want to thank you, my partners, right quick. These guys are truly the backbone of Cheat the Game. If it wasn't for these guys, and they donate every month, and I try my best to give them some great perks. This month's perks, I want to thank Exploit Devs. He has donated a lot of free lessons via coupons, and these are lessons in ASM, they are lessons in Ruby, they are lessons in just about every computer language you can think of. These are hundreds and hundreds of dollars value, absolutely free to our partners and donors. Just to say thank you for your kind donations, we really do appreciate it, and thank you all for what you do. I could not do it without you. Thanks to all my admins and mods for the great job y'all do on the Discord website as well as Facebook. We do appreciate that. If you would like to come join us, make sure that you do have an account that's at least 3 months old. Make sure that you answer the questions, and we'll be happy to approve you. And so come on and join us over at the Facebook, Discord, or our website, and we'd like you to be a part of the community. That's the best place to come ask your questions. Great game hackers hang out there that are more than happy to help you. Like I say, when you start talking about online game hacking, that's where we kind of shy off away a little bit. But if you just got regular assembly questions, Lua questions, or any programming language questions, if we don't know the answer, we'll lead you to the right source that does have the answer for you. So come on out and join us. We talk everything gaming. Alright, well guys, I'm out of time. I'm sorry this took a little longer than I thought, and it usually always does, but sometimes I just need to convey some information to you, and that's what this is. This is a learning channel. You can't learn just by watching me do it. I have to explain things. That's the way I like things taught to me. Alright guys, you all take care. Keep on hacking. Most importantly, please enjoy yourself. That's really what it's all about. You cheat the game, fellas, because believe me, it doesn't mind cheating you. You all take care now.